Hi guys, welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, here as part of Star Nation's radio network, and we're being broadcast through VLive TV on this beautiful app that's connected to Facebook land. How are you guys doing tonight? Soul Connections is all about you, reminding you, guiding you on how to heal yourself with your spiritual team. I'm here just as a conduit to help you with that. This is all about clearing what you need to clear and bringing into your life what you would like. What's your heart's desire? We were just talking about that. So if you know what that is, how about you clear anything that you're resisting in your life to having that? Wouldn't that be a lovely thing to bring into this new year and this new day? I'm excited for today. So tonight is all about, again, healing yourself. And then afterwards, we do a healing meditation just to clear all the gunk out, all the stress out, make room for new wonderful things to happen for you and your family and your energy body, all of that. And then I pull cards for divine messages. So if you would like a card, all you have to do is type in yes, please, and I'll be happy to pull a card for you. And the rule is I pull cards until we're done. I don't, worry about a time limit. I mean, it'd be nice to get it done in a certain amount of time just because I get sleepy. But I'm not going to leave anybody hanging because I want to make sure everybody gets the message that they were hoping or waiting for, trying to connect with their team. Because I know not everybody has the ability to hear their team speak to them, or sometimes it's difficult to get the messages. So I just act as that channel, that open gateway for your team to speak through me to you about what you're working on or what you need to remember or learn right now. So welcome, guys. And thank you to Neshi for being my producer for my show, because boy, I get overwhelmed with all the people and all the readings if I have to do all the work. So she's been kind enough to step in and help me with that. And she's reminding me that, the best way for us to reach the most people is if you guys could like and share on, your pages or groups that you think would enjoy it. Or maybe there's a person in your life that has been looking for a way to do some of their own healing work, and this is it. It's free and it's easy, and maybe it's just a way for them to get a jump start on healing their own life, because we all have that ability, and I would love to help you on that journey, because that's part of my mission, is to heal the healers, because you all need to be doing your work as well as me. So my spiritual team is getting a little chatty, and it's like having two people talk in your ear at once. So I'm just reminding you again that we will be doing a grounding and clearing meditation, and as we do that, part of what happens for me as I clear the energy is I make some clearing noises. You might hear like little burp sounds or squawking sounds. That's the energy moving quickly. And sometimes my voice changes as I'm doing the channeling, because sometimes my voice is used on a vibrational frequency to shift the vibration that needs moving as the whole group, for the whole group. So sometimes that requires my voice to change a little bit. Sometimes it's the Ancient One who comes through and speaks, but he's been a little quiet lately, at least on the live shows. Not that I'm complaining. He's been very vocal in the magazine writings. For those of you who haven't had a chance, you can always check out Star Nation's magazine, because all of us hosts write for the magazine, and then there's some wonderful people who that's their mission, so they just write for the magazine, which is great. And it's always chock full of really wonderful information about how to heal yourself and how to be more aware of the earth environment and what's happening, on our planet in general, from an energy standpoint. So we all support each other with our own personal gifts to help you, and give you some, juicy tidbits of information that you need. I keep the magazines in my waiting room, and so many people ask to borrow the magazine because they're like, well, I need to read like 4 articles in here. So, you can always check that out because I think they're like more like resources than a magazine. It's like you you grab it and you flip through and it has everything you need to learn at that moment. Kind of like oracle cards. What you're looking for is somewhere in what you're reading. So that's cool. So it's nice to see a number of you guys are on here tonight. So I see Julie and Christine and Minnie, and Violet and Liz. Welcome, guys. And I know Julie and Rob messaged me earlier too about cards, so feel free to do that. And I'm feeling like we're going to get started. I know it's a tiny bit early, but maybe that means we need a little more space for the card reading, or maybe a little more time with the healing.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds like it's that. All right, you guys. So to do the healing meditation, you want to make sure that your arms and your legs are uncrossed.
Yeah.
And get yourself nice and comfortable. And if you can, make sure that your feet or your bottom or something is connected to the floor. It'll help keep you a little more grounded, a little more connected. Because sometimes the vibration makes people want to travel.
Yeah.
And we're going to begin by calling in the divine energy, however you perceive that, whether you connect to God, Creator, Goddess, all that is, oneness, consciousness, however you perceive the divine, we're going to call that energy in to assist us this evening.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. And if you're feeling a little unsteady, you can always ask for a second bubble to fill the entire space that you're in. Sometimes we just need that sensation of a cocoon cradling us.
Yeah.
So we can relax enough to receive. It can be a very difficult thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're going to call in your spiritual team. Your angels, your guides, your ancestors. All divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to you and to me in this moment.
Yeah.
And even calling in the star beings and the mystical creatures. Everybody who wants to help. Who's got the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't be shy about asking your whole team to show up. You don't have to just name your favorite 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we set the intention that the healing energy and the healing work done this evening is for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to begin by calling the divine energy to come in through the top of our head to connect with our crown. And just notice how that feels, how that activates your senses. Do you feel tingling or light or pressure or heat or cold? Or do you just have a knowing, a sense of presence? For we all experience the divine energy in our own unique way. Maybe you just feel your heart getting fuller.
Yeah.
And then we're going to invite the divine energy to come in and begin to clear our sixth chakra in our forehead, that beautiful light purple color. And just ask that all of our thoughts, ideas, beliefs, memories, whatever may be distracting and spinning around in our brain, just to gently quiet. It can all stay put. But this moment right now is for you and your healing and giving you a chance to connect to your breath and your heartbeat. And as things begin to quiet, it gives you space for your perception to expand and for all of your senses to work as a team. All the five senses and the sixth sense all together as a spiritual team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we ask that all channels of communication with our guides and our spiritual team be opened so that not only can we receive messages more easily, but we can also speak our intentions more clearly so that our team can assist us more easily.
Yeah.
And opening up the possibilities of different ways of communication through different symbols and writing and songs and music and art and nature in our dream time, through others.
Yeah.
And then moving down and opening our ears so that we hear more clearly and we are heard more clearly, not only with our spiritual team, but with others. Because we often get very frustrated when we feel like we're not being heard.
Yeah.
And then that frustration builds in our jaw and our ears, and sometimes in our teeth.
Yeah.
And then moving into our throat and really opening our self-expression and the connection to our authentic truth and the ability to use our words for healing and for manifestation in a way that is filled with love and grace and a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
And clearing any energy around words that we've spoken, maybe in not the nicest way possible. Maybe we were a little anxious or nervous. Maybe somebody said words that were unkind to us because they were in a wounded place as well. And just really releasing any of that vibration that may still be stuck in the back of your neck, on the sides of your throat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And releasing all the stress and the tension that you're holding in your neck and in your shoulders. All the ways we try to muscle through things and carry burdens that we've created, that others have created with us, for us.
Yeah.
And allowing that responsibility and burden energy to just gently lift off your shoulders just for the moment. You can pick it all back up at the end of the meditation, but give yourself a few moments of feeling what it feels like to not carry that weight.
Yeah.
And how could that shift your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go. And then moving into the heart and really beginning to clear any sadness, grief, disappointment that we may be holding there, any shame that we may be carrying that feels like the heavy one today. And just remember that you are loved without any conditions. So there is no shame and there is no blame with the divine. So imagine how free your heart would be if you were willing to let that go.
Yeah.
Even if just for a moment. How would your breath be with all the density released?
Yeah.
And opening communication and healing with your inner child. Because our inner child has carried a lot of trauma for us. And they're here to spread joy and wonder and love and light in our life. So releasing the responsibility and the burdens from our child's shoulders.
Yeah.
And allowing our child to release the sense of victim if they have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And connecting to our inner adult, that part of us that is responsible and takes action, gets things done, and just releasing them from their to-do list. And just right now, all they're responsible for is breathing, which happens all on its own in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Our inner adult gets a little stressed out this time of year with all the doing. So really allowing that to kind of gently release,
got it,
knowing that you're taking this moment to heal and restore and recharge your own battery.
got it, yeah,
And connecting to your inner warrior and giving them a moment of peace, honoring all the ways they've helped you take action, advocate for yourself and others, helped you on your spiritual mission and what's important to you. But right now, all they need to do is breathe.
got it, got it,
Beautiful. And connecting to your inner sage elder, that part of you that you've carried in each and every lifetime that contains all the knowledge that you've ever learned and all that is there for us to learn in the future.
yeah,
And expanding that connection so that you can have moments of divine knowing and and the ability to understand the communications from our spiritual team more deeply and more fully,
uh,
kind of like a translator.
yeah,
And we all can use that sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
And now moving down into our third chakra and really releasing all of the fear energy that we hold here. And fear takes many shapes and sizes. So the fear may be anxiety, it may be stress, it may be overwhelm, it may be panic, it may be frustration or resentment or judgments or assumptions. Any energy that squeezes the third chakra then also squeezes our self-esteem, our self-worth,
got it,
all aspects of ourself.
yeah,
And sometimes we hold flavors of anger in this chakra as well, especially when it connects with our beautiful liver. Those two get going and or our gallbladder. The three of them have a little triangle of held on to unexpressed anger. So really giving some space to those poor organs and letting them not have to work so hard. And for those of you who have had moments of depression, just releasing that energetic cloud from around your inner flame, that part of you that is like your own sun. And sometimes the energy collects like a dark cloud and we feel caught underneath it. And when that happens, it dims our light from inside, but not outside. Because the flame never goes out, it never diminishes. It's just our perception that gets foggy. And allowing the sweetness of life to come back in. even just in little bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
And moving down into the second chakra and really allowing all of our emotional energy to flow. Remembering so deeply that all emotions are necessary. They're simply the radar for us to understand when our boundaries have been crossed, when our personal bubble has been smushed a little. Keep seeing like our aura being squeezed. And our reaction is valid in the moment. And it's meant to be expressed and released, not held on to. So just allowing some of those held on to emotions to gently wash away with the water energy that loves to flow in there. Making room for our creativity to flow and communication to flow in all of our relationships. And even to embrace our sensual energy, because the sensual energy is tapping into our senses, including our third eye, including that sixth sense. And the more we experience life through all of our senses, the more full and complete our life is.
Yeah.
So when we deny any of our sensations, we deny a piece of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might be just the piece you need. And opening up the energy in our hips so that we are able to more easily ground our creative energy, our manifestations, opening the pathways to abundance in all aspects of our lives,
Yeah.
and expanding our ability to walk our spiritual and our physical path evenly and completely. We need to walk in both legs so we don't limp through our life.
Yeah.
And then allowing that energy to flow down both of your legs, past your knees and your calves, your ankles and your feet, all the way down, so that all of our root chakra is activated, every aspect of it, so we can release any last feelings of insecurity, anything that squeezes our sense of safety, any stuck energy with our family of origin.
Yeah.
And really connecting our own sense of self deeply within the earth. Reminding ourselves that we are fully connected to the earth and to the divine above, like Grandmother Earth and Father Sky, like the way we are in this beautiful tube, this tunnel of light, and the energy is flowing above and below us. So really reminding ourselves to be connected to both the earth and the divine.
Yeah.
And the energy that is going down into the earth to clear, really allowing it to go through all of the layers of the earth, feeling our roots deepen and thicken, strengthen, expand, feeling more and more steady and grounded as we go. And if you're having trouble connecting, just imagine a giant cord of connection coming from your heart and going all the way down your body and connecting to the heart of the Earth Mother herself. The giant umbilical cord connecting one heart to the other.
Yeah.
There we go. And just allowing any energy that was ready to clear to go down into the ground.
Yeah.
For composting, making space for new energy to come in,
Yeah.
new creation energy to come in. And now we invite the divine feminine energy from Grandmother Earth to come in to fill in all those places where we were willing to let go. Coming up through our feet, and maybe you sense it as thick honey energy or as deep mud, but it has a sense of thickness and filling while strengthening and connecting. And as it moves up your legs, it just gives you a stronger foundation and more flexibility to manage all of life's circumstances.
Yeah.
And as it fills in your pelvic floor, think of that as a giant bowl to collect all this extra creation energy so it's sitting there when you need it. Allowing it to fill in your tailbone and all the way up your spinal cord, giving you love and support, reminding you that you are never alone. And filling in all of those beautiful organs that work so hard to sustain us
Yeah.
in this earthly body, this earthly vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bringing it all the way up into our rib cage and our lungs and our heart so that we can be filled with the breath of life. And we can make room to hold even more love within our hearts, allowing our heart to stretch and grow gently so that we have room for more compassion, more empathy, beginning with ourselves.
Yeah.
There we go. And allowing it to roll down our arms and our shoulders
Yeah.
into our hands so that we can spread healing and love with all that we touch. moving up through the throat, and inviting our heart to speak our authentic truth. Being able to express our authentic self
Yeah.
fully and completely.
Yeah.
And bringing that energy all the way up through the top of our head and allowing it to gently overflow down around our body like a giant fountain. And as it does that, feeling it cover the whole outside of you like it's water flowing, clearing and repairing and restoring your aura in all its layers and all of its dimensions. Remembering that our aura is in front of us and behind us, even behind our back and our neck. And it's on either side of us. Even in the rib cage, especially on the right.
Yeah.
And it's above us and below us. And below us, it goes down through layers of the earth, not just under our feet. And allowing it to move through each of the layers, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual. All of our past lives and dimensional lives. Through our karma. All the way back to Creator. And now take a moment to release any energy that you don't need down to the earth and send healing energy to the earth for all that she does to love and support us. Providing us food and water and shelter. And to send love and healing to all who live here on and under her surface.
Yeah.
And also taking a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team for guiding you, helping you move through your healing, reminding you how to communicate with them, with others,
Yeah. Yeah.
and with yourself. And now beginning to gently dissolve the meditation, feeling the weight of your body connected to the chair or the bed or the floor that you might be on, feeling your muscles and your bones close on your body. Notice any noises that are around you, anything that you may smell in the air. And just gently begin to stretch and yawn and blow out some air if you need to get yourself back into this moment.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start the readings. And if you would like a card drawing, all you have to do is type in yes, please. I pull them in the order they were asked for. So we had a couple people who messaged us early. So I'm going to pull their cards first. So the first one is for Julie Hedges. All right, and Julie, your card is the Guardian. You see that angel standing behind her? Full blown. So the Guardian card comes in when we are feeling open and vulnerable and we feel like no one has our back. And the Guardian card comes in reminding you that you have one particular angel, I'm hearing angel for you, who stands behind you, who helps you have a backbone when you need a backbone. They're here as your protector. And that is really important for you because there are times when you feel like you have to go it all alone and you've got nobody to help you. And you don't have any body, somebody in a body to help you maybe, but you have your guardian who's not in a body except an energy body. And they are here for that particular purpose. And when you feel like you need support, ask, because that's what they're here. And they will wrap their wings around you and allow you to feel held and sheltered. But if we're standing there all strong and all powerful, the guardian doesn't step in because we don't need any help. So if you're wondering why nobody steps in, maybe you don't need help. But if you would like help, ask your guardian. Again, it's about communication. They don't know unless you ask. Okay? So there you go, dear. All right, and for Rob, your card is sticky. So your card is retreat. So the retreat card is about when it's time for you to retreat inward. It's time for you to look inside yourself and sort of break the overwhelming energy that happens in our environment. So this retreat inward, the way I'm seeing it is you can have music playing. That can be your companion. But turning off the TV, turning off the computer, shutting off your phone, and just allowing all of the spinning thoughts to kind of quiet down in the rhythm of the music. Because for you, that is meditative. And I'm sensing, not necessarily things with words that you understand. It could be chanting like kirtan, but in general, it's not about connecting to more words to get stuck in your head. It's meant to be you finding the rhythm of your own being because you're out of sync right now. You're out of vibration a little bit. And music is your way of bringing yourself back to center. And so it's like you have to quiet all that other noise down so that you can hear yourself once more. And when you can hear yourself, then it'll be easier for you to connect to your spiritual team. I know that you connect to them quite regularly, but you could have an even more steady dialogue if you were able to quiet some of the inner critic chatter that's going on. I'm hearing the inner critic being kind of noisy. So it's almost like you need lullaby music to lullaby the critic to sleep so you can actually hear yourself think, if that makes sense. So I hope that works for you. All right, the next card is Julie. I love this card. I pulled this for somebody the other day. This is the Gateway card. And this card has two circles. It was one circle that's breaking into two. So I always think of the mitosis, where like the one cell begins to separate into two, and there's this moment where they're still completely integrated in the vesica piscis, I think is what it's called. And in that center spot of the vesica piscis, this like eyeball looking shape, that's where there's a gateway for new life to happen. And so when the gateway comes in, this is like a brand new opening for you, a brand new doorway, a brand new opportunity is being birthed out of this expansion time. So it's almost like, there's Jill, version 1.0, and she's stretching into Jill 2.0. And in Jill 2.0 in the upgrade, there's this like new opportunity and new thing to come through. And that's what the gateway is. So pay really close attention to signals and signs that are coming through, because sometimes we second guess them. So do your best not to be too much of a skeptic and just allow any opportunities that show up in the next month to really be looked at, because there's a whole new opportunity for you waiting. Woohoo! Happy holidays. All right. The next card is Christine. Hi, good evening, dearest. Oh, beautiful card. This card is called Forgiveness. I love how she has the halo hood over her head and the stars on one side and the sun on the other. So she's bringing herself into balance. And this forgiveness card is for you, my dear. Forgive yourself. So lots of times we take on self-criticism, we take on self-blame, and we let our inner critic be kind of mean and a little bullyish. And we take responsibility for things that aren't really our fault. And it's time to cut that out. The divine doesn't want you to hold on to that any longer. None of it's serving you. And if anything, it's making you more shaky and more sensitive. I keep feeling this almost like this fear of going out into big crowded places because you might have to feel too much. And that's forgive yourself for being so beautifully sensitive. And you don't have to isolate anymore. You just have to learn how to up your protection so that you can be more fully out in the world. You're hiding a little bit. So they're inviting you to step out in that. But part of that happens when you forgive yourself for creating a small container for yourself. Does that make sense? I hope. All right. So the next card is for Minnie. Of course, I'll pick a card for you. Jeez, what's this about, my dear? This is the sorrow card. Oh, now they're telling me. Okay. I don't think of sorrow when I think of you. So you have this super duper sensitive heart, and you take things that happen on the planet to heart. So, sweetie, you're holding on to some sorrow that's not yours. And that makes perfect sense to me. Um, you know, we had a funeral for our president who passed away, and there were a lot of emotions that people have had. And there's so many instances where we feel other people's pain and we feel other people's sorrow. And because we're healers, we want to help. And so we take it for them. But that's not really helping them or ourselves. But we can sit in a place as a healer and open our heart with even more love and compassion so that somebody around us can express their real sorrow without holding back. Right? That friend who really needs a good cry and holding space and letting them cry and loving their sorrow. Does that make sense? So I'm not feeling so much your own sorrow needs to be expressed as you're holding other people's sorrow or you're holding space for other people's sorrow. But make sure that you don't absorb it. It's one thing to set a sacred container for somebody else to express in, but it's another to become a sponge. All right? So just give your heart a little space there, babe. All right. The next card is Violet. Hello, dear. Woo! Yay! You got the Miracles card. Woohoo! So the Miracles card shows up when miraculous things start to happen. Coincidences and synchronicities and those things where you go, you're never going to believe this, but this happened to me today. You're in for a chain reaction of these little amazing events. And it's like a little set of dominoes that I'm seeing. And your set of dominoes can get bigger and bigger and bigger if you have gratitude for each and every one of those little miracles. Like when something happens that's so unexpected and you're like, thank you. And then the next thing happens and you're like, thank you. You don't need to know why, and you don't need to go into disbelief. I can't believe this happened. Because when we say, I can't believe this happened, then we shut the energy off and they stop sending us those miracles. But instead, if we're like, thank you, then they just kind of keep rolling. And it can be little tiny things like finding a good parking spot this time of year, you know, when you go to the store, or maybe it's getting through your doctor's office in like 15 minutes instead of an hour, or maybe it's, you know, you having, you're thinking about a longtime friend and they all of a sudden reach out to you, you know, or maybe it's just making somebody else smile or getting a Christmas card from somebody you're not expecting. Like there can be these little tiny miracles. And when we start to acknowledge those, then our team gets really excited and they start to send the big ones. Don't you want the big ones to show up? I know I do. You know, my biggest one to date was it's almost 2 years now that my car showed up, and it was literally the car I drew and tried to manifest when I was a kid. And I said, when I was a grown up, apparently I just turned a grown up, I was going to have this car. And when we drove by it, I started squealing and like almost jumped out of the car while it was moving. And what was so funny was after that, I had a number of people call me, message me, send me emails saying, I saw the perfect car for you. And yeah, and there were only 500 made, and there were 3 at my dealership. So that'll tell you something. So say thank you. Yes, yes, yes. And I drove it away in less than 2 weeks, which was pretty cool. All right, let's see who's next. Liz, my buddy. All right, my dear, your card is emergence. Look at those wings. She's pushing, ready to go. So the emergence card comes up when we've been caught in this cocoon. We've been ourselves in a particular way for a really long time, and we may have even gone through some stuck energy recently, and that's because we were waiting to bloom. And so you are coming out of the cocoon. You are stepping into your wings as a butterfly. You are emerging as a new version of Liz. This is a really cool night for that. That's the second person who is about to step into a new version of themselves. I love it. Yes, please, for the new year. So just notice all the things that are sort of shedding and leaving your life that are old and weren't working, because it's making space for a new you to come through. And if you want this to manifest in a new job, it can. That's what came in my ear. Like, it's up to you, but you can emerge into a newer, fuller version of yourself, even in your job. Because I know it's not a hard job. It's not a job you hate or anything, but it's not tapping your full potential. And if you want to, then that opportunity is coming through this emergence as well. Woohoo! All right, my dear. So let's see, Mary Anderson Frey. Of course. Ooh, this one is very nice. This is the Mystic card. I love the star on her third eye. A mystic is a psychic channel for the divine. So you can't be a mystic without being a psychic, but you can be a psychic without being a mystic. Does that make sense? So when the mystic energy is coming in, it means that your sensory perception is much more attuned to messages from the divine, but also to be sort of used as a channel to help other people through messages. So, I'm a mystic completely, because all the time, and I did this even as a child, without even knowing the person, I would, something would come out of my mouth to say to them. And they're like, how did you know I needed to know that? And it's like, I don't know, and it would just come out. So when we're okay with our energy being guided that way as part of our mission, then it gives us, the way I'm seeing it is, as a healer, you also have the messenger archetype. You're meant to give messages to other people. You're meant to say what somebody else needs to hear. So make sure that your mystic is has her throat open. Is how I'm seeing it. It's like, open, speak up, because other people need the divine messages that you're receiving. And sometimes we don't even know we're getting them. But if we hide, then we aren't in a place where we're giving. So make sure you get out there, because a mystic is a beautiful thing. We need a lot of them on the planet. So thank you for doing that for others. All right, let's see. Cindy Lynn. All right, my dear, your card is Golden Memories. Whoops, I just pressed something on my computer. That cracked me up. All right. Golden memories. So this one is an interesting one because to me it looks like the sun, but it also looks like a really fierce firestorm, right? And especially with all the fires that have been purging and cleansing on Grandmother Earth, it has a lot more fire energy to me than sun energy. So this is reminding you of all of the times that you've been in your own personal power. Because our personal sun is in our third chakra. And when we shine brightly there, we're standing in an empowered space. And sometimes we forget all the ways we've been able to do that, and we slide ourselves into victimhood. So this is reminding you to take an inventory of all the times you've stood on your own, in your own power, without needing anybody else. It doesn't mean that other people weren't there to support you, but you didn't need them. They were just there to experience you standing in your own power. And this is to give you fuel to really step into like this next segment. Here we go again. This next segment of your life, because you are stepping into a more empowered version of you. And it may seem scary and shaky. Now she's doing the woohoo dance over there. Nice to hear all these empowered stories. So you're stepping into this new empowered place, but it may feel shaky and brand new. But your team wants to remind you that this is not brand new for you. Look back and see all the times you've done it so that you know without a doubt you can do it again. Because sometimes we're like, I don't know if I can do this on my own. That's a bunch of horse pucky. That's your inner critic being such a brat. I've even named mine Blanche, because my inner critic is such, I don't know, she needed a name that just, yeah, mine's Blanche. One of my friends, she named hers Gertrude. You just sometimes have to pick a really obnoxious name for your inner critic, and then they feel separate from you, right? When they're yakking, you can be like, okay, Blanche, I get it, and you can dismiss that. So make sure that you look back on all the times you've stood in your power so that you stop shaking in your boots right now, because this is not a new thing for you to be able to step in and do what you're doing. Good girl. All right. I think it's Anne. Yes, Anne. Woohoo. I don't mind seeing a sexy card now. This is Tantric Union. And I love this card because this is a coming together of two souls. When the Tantric Union card comes up, this is not about sex. It is all about communicating with another person on a deep and soul level, on a soul vibrational level. So it's like each chakra is talking to the other person's chakra, and there's no barriers, and it is just wide open. And when we allow our energy to flow freely with somebody else without restriction, we can experience all of our emotions and our sensations on a more full, vibrant level. And that's what the Tantra is all about, is experiencing the fullness of our sensations. And a lot of people think the only sensation that's talking about is sex, which is a lovely thing to expand your feeling ability on. But how about being able to experience joy more fully, love more fully, even sorrow more fully, because it becomes a sacred emotion. So this is about you being able to connect with another person on this deep of a level. And I don't know why I'm saying this, but this is done organically. Some people like to do this, with the assistance of some substance. And I have nothing against substances for people who use them or whatever, but true Tantra doesn't need that. It's just energy. And it is more expansive and it's more real when you are fully present than when you're slightly out of your body. All right. Nice. All right, Andrew. My buddy Andrew. I have to say, I love this picture of you with those sunglasses, and I'm dying to know. I've been wondering for weeks whether your kids had anything to do. You have these great boys, and I'm wondering if they helped choose the sunglasses, because I have a feeling they had some say in that. Just saying. Love you. So your card, Andrew, is listening. So this card, she's laying there and she's just allowing the star energy, the divine, to just come in and wash over her. This is shush. Listen to the divine. Your team is trying to talk to you. But when we're having that noisy chatter, kind of like Rob's card earlier, turn on some music so that the distraction gets moved out, especially music that doesn't have words that we get caught up in the thinking of. If you just allow the music to wash over you and quiet that inner critic, there's another theme, then you can actually hear what your spiritual team is trying to say to you. And, they're not going to talk over all of the noise inside our head. It's kind of like la, 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 right? When somebody's doing that, you just shut up and you wait until they're ready to hear. And so that's what your team's doing. They're waiting for you to be ready to hear. So you might want to do some kind of ritual to let them know that you're ready to listen, and be open to receiving whatever it is they have to say. Because if we try to control we only want good messages, or we only want ones about this, and our team really needs to talk to us about something else, then we block some of that coming through. Okay, so be open to hearing whatever comes through. All right, Lindsay June. Oh, for you and for Christopher. All right. So your card is Heaven on Earth. So this card comes in to remind us that we are a divine being. We don't have to go anywhere to experience heaven. It's what we create in each and every moment. Sometimes we're so busy looking for the amazing thing out there that we don't notice the thing right in front of us. And that means stopping and appreciating the beauty around us and seeing those little miracles as they occur. And then we're in joy and gratitude all the time for what's going on in our lives, rather than picking out the negative and complaining about what's not right. Because how did you respond as a kid when you had people telling you everything you were doing wrong? Did you keep trying to make magic, or did you start to shut down? I know for me that when people criticized, I stopped doing, because I didn't want to chance hearing the criticism anymore. So that's how our those miracles and those things happen for us, is when we acknowledge all those beautiful things happening, then more beauty comes in. All right, and Chris. What is it with the guys needing music? So yours is healing sounds. So she's sitting in water, which is all of our emotions, all of our feeling. And so, this is reminding you that the music and sound in general helps to vibrate your energy, allowing the emotions that are stuck inside you to begin to release and heal. And you also need water as a big healing energy for you. No surprise with, mermaid girlfriend, that you might be somebody who needs water. um, so this is about bringing more sound and more music into your life. I'm hearing a lot of like noise, that you're surrounded by a lot of noise. And like it hurts my ears, especially my right ear. So you need something like calming and soothing to sort of bring your vibration back into balance. And don't be afraid to feel those feelings, because when you hold on to them or you try to suppress them, then our organs start to have difficulty, and you get things like the shaking in the legs and the squeezing in your stomach, and the cravings for alcohol and sweets and stuff like that, because that's when we're trying to stop ourselves from feeling. So use some gentle music and water to help you start to move some of that emotional energy that needs to clear. All right. Love you guys. All right. Next card is Jacqueline. All right, Jacqueline, your card is physical body. And the physical body comes in, and you may not know, but there's like these swirls all over her body. They're goddess swirls. And so this is about taking a look at what is happening within your physical body. Don't ignore some of those signs you've been having. If you're having headaches, for instance, if it's happening with regularity, maybe it's something that you need to have checked out, or you need to drink a lot more water, is one of the things I'm hearing. I'm feeling a lot of pressure behind my neck right here, which usually means people are getting headaches or dizziness or migraines. Sometimes it's just because we're carrying way too much stress. But when that happens, you're not having flow down your spinal cord, which means your lymphatic system isn't getting enough movement. And when that gets stuck, it starts to impact any of your organs. So if you're having aches or pains, or a fever, then you need to take action on that, sweetheart. Because by the time we start to have physical symptoms, it's been sitting, wreaking havoc in our emotions, and it's been spinning around in our mental thoughts already for a long time. And trust me, because, it's sometimes hard to realize that, that person who's a pain in the neck is literally now a pain in our neck. So make sure that you take care of any physical symptoms that you have. And as you take care of the physical symptoms, check in here, because we can help you move the physical, the emotional, and the mental all at the same time. So these meditations work for physical things too, just reminding everybody of that. All right. Christine, it looks like. Oh yeah, never too late, sweetie. Ooh, pretty card. I don't think I've drawn this one. So this one is spiritual growth. I love the red in her wings. It's really beautiful. So she's coming out of a giant rose. I know it's probably hard to see that from where we are, but it's like a rose that's in full bloom, like one of those wild roses. And she's standing on top of that. And so the rose energy is really connected to Mary Magdalene in particular, but the divine feminine. And it's a sense of a woman stepping into her divine feminine. So this card is coming in because you are entering a period of time where you're starting to stretch your divine spirit. You're starting to remember aspects of your divinity that you had not really forgotten, but you hadn't awakened in this lifetime. And so now that you're starting to stretch your wings, start to pay attention to what feels like your spiritual mission. What's the next thing for you in your spiritual growth? Is it a class to take? Is it expanding what you do or how you do it? Maybe it's doing more creative things so that your spirit can kind of shine through. But what I'm feeling is it's time for you to stand up more fully. Like you've been sitting and watching, and now it's time to be participating and being more active in your role and in expanding who you are as a spiritual being. And you're in the right place if you're here with Star Nation. So if you need any help with that, there's a number of us who'd be more than happy to do that, to guide you through any of that. All right, Jackie. Jackie, your card is meditation. And the meditation card is, very similar to what everybody's been, getting a little connection to, which is it's time for things to go quiet for you and for you to listen to your own inner guidance. Meditation does not have to be hard. Meditation does not need to be sitting cross-legged and chanting Om. Meditation can be you quietly taking a walk in the woods. Meditation can be you folding laundry. Meditation can be filling a sink up with suds and washing dishes. Whatever quiets your mind and just allows you space to connect. And hear your guides coming through and allow you to get clarity on some things that you are thinking about. So you can obviously, watch this again, the meditation, a couple times. This is a particular healing meditation, and it's longer because we're healing your whole body. But there are a lot of meditations out there that are like 10 minutes, that are really quick and easy to just quiet your mind. And again, you do what I told all the guys to do, which is find some music that is soothing to you and just allow the music to shift your vibration and quiet things down. And that can be its own meditation. But start creating a practice of quiet. It's not a one-time thing. It's like, how do you have a meditative moment built into your day each day? And that will help with your stress too. It'll help bring your heartbeat back into a regular rhythm. All right, Michelle. Your card is love, my dear. So the love card is when we're being encouraged to open our heart chakra and just let everybody feel it. When we guard our love and we hide it and we put conditions on it, we then put the same conditions on the people who are trying to express love to us. So if we want to feel love fully from another, we have to be sharing love fully with everyone. So this is like stretch, stretch those arms out and really allow your heart to shine. And look for ways that you can bring love to different situations. Remind people how to love themselves, and then you will remember how to love yourself. But some of us are meant to do, sort of take the helm first. So I see you sort of as this like love advocate. Get out there and shine the love and spread some love. It's the perfect season for it. And there's so many people actually who need it even more because they feel the heaviness that can happen when you're focused on loss. Okay? Thank you, dear. Go be a love warrior. All right, Rochelle. Nice card. Reflection. So this is an interesting card because generally when I see this, it's connected to a relationship. So there's 4 faces. So it's like inviting you to look at you, and it's inviting your partner to look at themselves, and for both of you to look inward at the relationship together. So I'm not sure, though, I don't feel this other person so strongly, except maybe the divine. So maybe you need to be looking, number one, take that meditative moment to kind of reflect back on what's going on for you. And then the other one is, what's your connection to the divine? And reflect on that relationship that you have with the divine. Because if you're blaming the divine for everything, they're not going to be in a very functional relationship with you, right? But if you can find all the ways that you want to be in a more committed relationship with the divine, that's what I'm hearing. That's the phraseology. It's almost like you need a commitment ceremony with yourself in relationship to the divine. Then this is an opportunity for you to do that. So look at within yourself and your spirituality and how you connect to the divine, and how is your relationship with the divine, because it's up to you to heal that, because we can only control our end of any relationship. So if you're not happy with your relationship with the divine, then fix that within you. Woohoo! All right, Alyssa. Your card is abundance. Nice. And the abundance card, she's hugging a tree. And she's loving the tree. And the thing about this card that I really like, the fact that she's hugging this tree, the tree can be growing whatever we need it to grow. So if we want more friends, then the tree can be a friendship tree. If we want more money, then it can be a money tree. If we want more love, then it can be a love tree. So the more you embrace and love this tree that you want to flourish for you, then the more it will grow and give you the fruits of your labor. So whenever we're trying to call in abundance of any kind, it all starts with the more open we are in our heart to create, the more energy we have for creation. And that's how that goes, that little cycle of, loving it. But I love the visualization of whatever you want grows on a tree, and just sit there and love the tree, and wait for its fruits to come to you. Or get out there and climb that tree and get it. Right? whatever needs to happen for you. All right, my dear. Marilyn. Marilyn, your card is Sacred Union. And it looks like a male and a female, but it also looks like two trees that have grown together. So a sacred union is when two people come together to do something that is aligned with a soul mission for both people. So not only are you coming together, but you're coming together for a purpose. So there's this energy of something coming together for a soul purpose. And I'm not getting the sensation that it's necessarily like a romantic partnership. We get really caught up in like looking for our soulmate or doing something with our soulmate, and we forget that we have like many soulmates. And there are many members of our soul tribe. So this is like you coming together with a member of your soul tribe to create something new. And that's really sturdy. That's why it has tree energy. So this can be on any dimension in terms of it can be a friendship, it can be a business relationship, it can be a romantic partnership, but it is a coming together of two souls on a soul mission. Generally, if that's somebody brand new in your life, you meet somebody and you have a sense that you've known them forever. There's this ease and grace that when you talk to them, you feel really relaxed and comfortable, and you feel like you don't have to pretend with that person. You're just open and honest in a way that you're not normally with other people. So when that happens, that's a symbol of that sacred union, and that's you're meant to do something together in that connection energy. All right, Marilyn, have fun with that. Geez, it's like Marilyn, Mary, and Mary. So Mary Ellen. Is it Mary Ellen first, or is it Mary Szaro? Yes, she's first. All right, so yours, dear goodness, can't make this stuff up. Soulmate is your card. You know, you just can't. You just can't. You know the size of this deck to pull Sacred Union and Soulmate back to back. Yep. So, my dear, the Soulmate card is coming up for you for a similar purpose. Yours is a little more connected to the heart energy. I'm feeling a little more love behind this one. So this is you really allowing your soul to be wide open, and you need to hear that, wide open, to really allow in one of your soulmates. You cannot do this from a guarded place. When we have our walls up, then nobody wants to cross them. So it's showing her head up, facing the sky, the rainbow above. The divine could not be a bigger crown on her head right now, right? And she's coming out of the lotus bloom. She's stepping into her higher version of herself. And as she does that, she really calls in her soulmate. And this has a lot more love attached to it than the Sacred Connection card did. So this one feels a little more in the heart space. So make room for that. If you don't already know who that is, that's okay. They're coming. And if it's somebody you already know, then it's just a reminder to open up your heart and allow even more love to flow between you. All right, Mary Ellen. Now it's your card. Isn't this funny? Your card is answered prayer. We made you wait for it. So the answered prayer is that whatever you've been hoping for, wishing for, asking for, that's coming into your life right now. And it's some piece that's transforming. There's a butterfly in the middle of her belly. And so that often means to me that we have these moments of being anxious and nervous and uncertain and not the butterflies in our stomach. So when we feel those butterflies come in, just saying, oh, cool, this is my prayer about to be answered. Not, oh no, what's wrong? But, oh, yay, this is my prayer about to be answered. And when we shift that energy, then that's exactly what happens. So the moments you feel like that tingly butterfly feeling in your stomach, switch it from anxiety to excitement, because our energy body and our team does not know the difference. We're the ones who make an assumption that the butterflies are bad when butterflies are also good, because usually you feel butterflies in your stomach when you meet your true love. You're like, oh no, there they are. And those aren't bad butterflies. So make sure that when you feel that tingling in your stomach, don't think of it as anxiety, but think of it as, oh good, my prayer is about to be answered. All right? Nice. All right. Lynn Anderson, sorry. I know a Lynn Ann. That's why I must have gone there. Your card is transmutation, my dear. I love this card because she looks like she's a feminine phoenix. She's coming out of the fire and lifting up. And that is when we've gone through the fire. We've gone through all of this hard stuff. And in the moment that we're in it, we don't know why we have to go through this. We're often complaining. But we go through all of this because it's getting ready to shift us to a new person, a new version of ourselves. And transmutation is when you take something that's heavy like lead and you turn it into something light like gold. So it's rather than just shifting your energy, it's taking something really heavy and dark that we've had to go through. We've had trauma, we've had, difficulties, we've gone through all this pain, and it's shifting the pain, taking the pain and turning it into love and light. And that's when we transmute, when we shift. It's almost like we go up in frequency as we do this, rather than lifting gently up in vibration. It's like you almost burst into a new level. And it's why it's like she's coming out of a volcano. She's coming out of that molten fire and taking flight. So this is a beautiful card for you, dear. I can't wait to see what your Phoenix has in store for the planet. All right, Jill. Your card is the Goddess. How are you at owning your Goddess? So the Goddess is coming in to remind us that we all have the Goddess energy within us. We have God and Goddess. And the divine feminine is a really intrinsic part of who we are. It teaches us how to nurture ourselves and others, and really how to caretake ourselves and even the planet. When we are not fully stepping into our, interesting. When we're not fully stepping into our healer, we aren't owning our divine feminine, because the healer is the ultimate version of the divine feminine in the human experience. Because what would Mother Mary do in human form but take care of others and try to heal them? It's why Mother Teresa holds such a prominent energy around that, right? Because that's all that we see, is that she's given her life to heal others and take care of others. So when the goddess energy is coming in, it's own your divine feminine on all her layers. And you can't be a full healer, and you can't be this full person with love and passion in their life without owning your goddess. And when we shame our goddess and say that it's not okay for her to be out and to be happy and vibrant and empowered, then we squish down all other aspects of ourselves. So I'm seeing you owning her energy as sort of the backbone of the healing work that you're supposed to step more fully into. Does that sound like something we've been talking about? All right. So Ben. Oh, new God thought, water lady, please. You know, Ben opens my heart each time, Stephanie. I just wanna say that. I am sorry he's had a rough week. Um, I love that he feels the ocean with me, because it's coming into my reality sooner and sooner. So he brings me a message every time he calls me water lady. So thank you, Ben. Yours is the perfect card for you. I might get a little teary. Your card is the universal heart. Yep, probably going to be teary. So Ben, your card means that you have one of the most special sacred hearts in the universe, because you remember how to share love with everybody and every being. And thank you for coming here to teach those of us who've forgotten how to heal and use our love energy. Because there are a lot of people on the planet who are very grumpy and very heavy. And when we have to be around them, it makes us sad. And so when you share that love, and it's right here, it's really, really bright. When you share that love with everybody else, you make the whole planet brighter and lighter. And all those people feel heavy, they get to feel lighter just when you're around. So thank you. And remember that what you feel in your heart and you see in your eyes is directly from the divine, and listen to that, because you've been hearing it or feeling it right here. Okay? And Stephanie, send him hugs for me. Give him a big hug for me. All right. Roberta, Bobby. Okay. Sorry, Roberta. So, Trilogy of Light. There's 3 suns. I don't know if you can tell. There's one beneath the surface, there's one at the surface, and there's one above the surface. And the surface could be water, like the bottom one could be water and reflection, but this holds a lot of green. So what I'm seeing for you in the Trilogy of Light is, as you are opening your sense of self, because I feel like you're cracking that open. Remember that there is a lot of light that is still hidden beneath the surface. There's parts of ourselves that we haven't opened up yet and allowed other people to see. So there's still light beneath the surface. And what the light that's above you is you expanding your connection with the divine and your spiritual team. It's like Your higher self is helping illuminate your heart so your heart can see the parts of you that are light that have been hiding. And when I see that, it usually means, we closed down our gifts because it wasn't okay to use them, or somebody told us we were crazy, or we were making things up. And so we haven't brought those gifts to the surface yet. And so this is reminding you, you have a lot that is still inside you that's under the surface. So it might be time to go exploring. And ask your higher self and the divine to help you shed light on those parts of yourself that are ready to come out of the dark. Woohoo! All right, Carla. All right. Your card is celebration, my dear. Love the dove taking flight. So the celebration card is the divine celebrating you and celebrating all that you've gone through and all that you continue to be and the way that you are on the planet. Lots of times we get caught up in all the things that are going wrong and we forget to celebrate all the things that are going right. And so this is like, take a moment to stop and just maybe even make a gratitude list of all the things that you're thankful for, but it's almost more of an accomplishment list. Like, give yourself a pat on the back for all the things you've gotten through. And maybe they don't all feel like celebrations, but the fact that you're still standing after you got through, that's something to celebrate. Other people would have been knocked down and wouldn't have made it through, but you're still here and you're still standing. And so celebrate that. It's like, I almost feel like you need to have like a self-esteem party, like with confetti and everything. Like, here are all the great things that I've done, and have posters, and decorations everywhere celebrating all the victories and all the things that you've done. Because again, it's so easy to get caught up in all the things that are going wrong. We could have 500 things go right and 3 things go wrong, and we're focused on the 3 things that go wrong. And that just comes back to, if you think about it, when we were in school, we would write a paper or take a test, and all the emphasis was on what we did wrong, not on what we did right. All those red X's, right? And how did it make you feel so you started to focus on the red X's rather than on all of that wasn't X'd? Does that make sense? So celebrate those little things, because they actually lead up to a much bigger thing. And when we celebrate little things, then the divine will bring us even more. Woohoo! All right. Joe, of course. So your card is message from afar. Still a little clearing on that one. So message from afar comes in when you have, usually it's a loved one that's on the other side that has been trying to get a message to you, trying to come through, trying to communicate with you. I feel that there is, and I don't know who it is because I don't ask names and I don't like to get caught up in that. There's somebody who's trying to bring you an apology and trying to send you some love. And it makes my collarbone hurt on the left side. So it may mean that they had a lot of responsibility, or you carried a lot of responsibility in relation to this person. So usually when they're going to communicate, you can either experience that through sleep time, they'll come to you in a dream, and it'll be very vivid. The colors will be very different. And so generally, that's a dream of importance. But you also may notice a scent of something that reminds you of them, or you may hear a song on the radio that was a song that you heard with them. And this time of year, with it being the holidays, lots of times, you touch an ornament that they touched, and you have you think of them. So if somebody pops into your head that you haven't thought about in a while, who's on the other side, then just take a moment to connect with them. But they have a very heavy heart and would like to say they're sorry. And I'm just feeling like a weight on the shoulders about that. So do your best to be open to that and allow that connection to come through, because it'll heal both of you. All right. Mary Elizabeth. Hi, sweetie. You made it. So expectancy. So this card comes when we have a little anxiety. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. So what it's telling you is to focus on what you need and then expecting it to show up. So, you were discussing how there's a lot of extra stress and work that you've had to do. So holding the expectation that someone or something is going to come reduce your workload back to a manageable level. So when you ask the divine for assistance, you ask for the ability to accomplish your job with ease and grace, and that the overwhelm can be handled in a different way. Whether that means somebody new gets hired to handle some piece of it, or whether it gets outsourced, or all of a sudden it's now done by some computer program, doesn't really matter. Hold the expectancy that things can shift, and then they will shift. If you're focused on what isn't working, then you will continue to have things that aren't working. So I'm seeing you asking for this relief and getting it, but you're going to have to hold it really tight. Like that's all you can see, and that's what you're going to have everybody oh, I'm getting help and relief, by the new year. And we'll all hold that space for you. All right, Lynette, your card is embrace. So this has two meanings. The embrace card is when we hold on and love that part of ourselves that we have not been so nice to. We all are our own worst critic. We can be our own little bully. So it's kind of like scooping yourself up and loving yourself, giving yourself that healing embrace. So that's the first piece. Scoop yourself up and give yourself some unconditional love, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. And then the second one is really coming together and embracing this. There's a new idea, there's this new thing. And yes, it can be a new person in your life that you actually embrace, but often it's an idea or a possibility that when we embrace it can shift our life. And there's so much love energy around it. But first we have to love and accept ourselves. And when we do that, then we're able to embrace something new and allow that to come into our lives as well. So it's kind of like how you call abundance in is by The more you clear and love and heal yourself, the more room there is for the divine to bring new and wonderful things into your life. All right, and I know Lynette is the last card, but Neshi didn't take a card yet, so I'm going to give her her card. And she needs this one now. It's the inner child. So your inner child card is coming out to remind you that you need to play. Us busy ladies who get so caught doing, your inner child is getting slightly cranky. And I can envision a cabinet full of beautiful art things that you could go play with her, and she would be excited. Maybe make a vision board for the new year, or for where Star Nations would like to be in the new year, and ta-da! There you have it. Your inner child would like to play. And the other thing about the inner child is they love to play with George too, so, get some of that playtime in too. And Natalie, you got in under the wire, my dear. Your card is dreams. So this is reminding you to connect to the energy in your dreams. When that comes up, we sometimes dismiss, the dream seems kind of wacky and we don't know what it means. And so we dismiss the whole dream. And the difficulty is our spiritual team talks to us in symbolism. So like if you have a dream where you're in a car going down a road and you don't know where you're going, well, the card is how you're moving in your life. Are you in the driver's seat or are you being driven? And if you're being driven, are you in the passenger seat where you could take control? Or are you in the back seat where you have no control over what's going on? So, and it might be just a dream with a car in it, but that's very symbolic of, okay, it's time for you to get out of the passenger seat. It's time for you to stop letting other people drive your life, right? So pay attention to the dreams and the symbolisms. And if you don't know, there's so many ways to Google dream interpretation. And if not, there's a number of us who are able to interpret them for you. I'm like, how do you want me to phrase that? There's a lot of people who are able to interpret dreams who could help you out, but your team is really trying to speak to you in dream state. So if you don't already have a dream book, and I see like a notebook by the side of your bed, then I suggest you do that, because then sometimes we can start to see a pattern in our dreams of what's coming up, especially dreams that wake you up. Those are really, really important. All right, and Dennis. Dennis, your card is blessings. That's a beautiful card. So this card comes in to remind you, number one, that you are a blessing. We feel so very human sometimes, and we don't realize the impact that we have on people around us. And you are a blessing for a number of different people. And lots of times we have no idea that we've influenced or impacted somebody else's life by simply being ourselves. But we each have a light to shine for somebody else who's in the darkness. So that's the first piece. And then because of you doing that lovely work, you have some blessings that are coming your way. And again, they're kind of like those little things that if we acknowledge the little things, then the big things can come in. So, I always use the parking space because that's my big thing. My team always gives, it's like almost like a long-standing joke with my team. So, if you get the front space, when you're going somewhere, like I got the front space at like a downtown, my dentist's office, which is in a really busy area and usually takes me 20 minutes to park. And boom, I got the front space right in front of their door. And so as soon as that happened, I was like, thank you. I really appreciate it. And then by the time I got out to my car, I had booked 2 new clients. And that was a blessing because it was one more, like each time I said thank you, another thing showed up. And then a client showed up and spent 3 times as much as her appointment by buying things than I was expecting. And then you see what I'm saying? So have that place of knowing that you're a blessing and recognizing all the ways you receive blessings throughout the day and throughout your life. All right? My goodness, we're just keeping going. So Don Nelson, yours is the golden path. I love the golden path because it looks like trees, but they're almost like rainbow, and it's a path leading to the divine. The golden path is a symbolization that you are headed in the right direction. You are walking on your spiritual path. You're being divinely guided in the way that you're going. So remember to just have gratitude. Because when we are in a space of gratitude, as we're walking in our spiritual footsteps, then the divine continues to light the way for us. So we're lit within like a beacon and we're shining out, but we're also lit from above. So we're never walking in the darkness, and we're never in a sense that even if we're on this path and see no one, we know that we're surrounded and loved and protected, and that we aren't really alone. So you are walking on that golden path. All right. And Brenda, your card is birth. Again, the Phoenix. So the birth card comes up when there's brand new life brought into a situation and brought into us. It almost feels like with the new year, there's this new birth that's happening for you. And this can be quite literal. It could be like a new baby being born into the family. It can be a new job. It can be a new idea, and it could be a new version of you. All of them carry the same energetic propulsion out of the same part of our energy body. So this is about using your creation energy to create something new and bringing it into a solid state on the planet. And an idea is just as important as bringing in a new concept, and a new idea can be just as important as creating this beautiful project, because it can stimulate more birth energy for other people as well. So get on it, because something is ready to pop. And with that, guys, we are done for tonight. So thank you. So much gratitude from myself, Polly Jo Labbe, for this wonderful evening of connection and messages. We will be back again next week at 7. And please like and share this and make sure that it gets out to people who are needing it, because we really want to reach those people who need healing and who need some divine guidance. That helps me on my spiritual mission to heal the healers. So I have a lot of gratitude for you guys who are helping me with that. And thank you to Star Nations for creating the platform for those of us who are hosts and writers to be able to step more fully into our purpose. And I will see you guys next Tuesday as well for chakra sessions at noon Eastern Standard Time. And we always have some teachings about energy and how to move it in our life and in our body. And it's turning into an amazing book, apparently. And then we do some healing on that as well. And you can always check in for the daily card draw. That's for the entire energy of the day. That's with Neshi every day at 3 Eastern. And with that, guys, I am going to say good night, because 2 hours of healing is quite enough. See you on the flip side. Bye, guys.